Ever wonder why Donald Trump seems so eager for World War III? It's not about power or ego, it's about money. And not just for him, but for his closest allies in the military-industrial complex. Wars don't just happen. They're strategic business moves. And Trump is the perfect puppet for the oligarchs, who want to keep the war machine running at full speed. Who benefits from war? Certainly not the American people, struggling with crumbling infrastructure, failing schools, and overpriced health care. The real winners are defense contractors companies like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and Northrop Grumman. These giants rake in billions by supplying the U.S. military with weapons, jets, and cutting-edge technology. Under Trump, defense spending hit record highs. In 2019 alone, the Pentagon budget reached $738 billion. And who funds Trump's campaigns? Billionaires with deep ties to the defense industry. It's no coincidence that his administration was filled with former military generals and defense insiders. Take James Mattis, Trump's first Secretary of Defense, who served on the board of General Dynamics, one of the largest defense contractors. When Mattis left, General Dynamics received a $9.6 billion contract for nuclear submarines. Coincidence? Hardly. The military-industrial complex isn't just about building weapons. It's about controlling politics and public perception. Defense companies spend millions on lobbying, expecting returns through government contracts. In 2020 alone, they spent over $100 million on lobbying. They don't wait for wars. They create the conditions for conflict. Trump's foreign policy stoked fear to justify massive military budgets. His rhetoric on China, Russia, and Iran wasn't about national security. It was about setting the stage for conflict. By demonizing these countries, Trump justified record-breaking defense budgets. In 2019, he withdrew from the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, sparking a new arms race. Who benefits? Defense contractors. Even his stance on Ukraine was about profit. Trump didn't just withhold military aid for political leverage. He also saw an opportunity to sell more weapons. In 2019, he approved the sale of Javelin anti-tank missiles to Ukraine, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That money didn't go to American workers. It went to defense contractors. Domestically, Trump's alliance with the NRA fueled a booming gun industry. In America, it's easier to buy an assault rifle than to see a doctor. Gun manufacturers profit from fear, and Trump delivered that fear in spades. Every racially charged tweet, every fear-mongering speech about immigrants, it was all good for business. Gun sales soared during his presidency. In 2020 alone, Americans bought over 39 million firearms. That's more than the number of cars sold. Trump even rolled back regulations on gun exports, allowing American gun manufacturers to sell weapons globally, often to countries with poor human rights records. It's no coincidence that the U.S. is the world's largest arms exporter. The profits go to the shareholders of gun companies, many of whom also benefit from defense contracts. While the oligarchs get richer, American society falls apart. Public services crumble while military spending soars. Trump's allies want a desperate, fearful population too busy struggling to question corruption. By dismantling healthcare, education, and social safety nets, they keep people poor and powerless, easier to control. An unhealthy, uneducated population is easier to manipulate. People struggling to pay medical bills aren't likely to question a corrupt government. They're too busy surviving. This is another hallmark of the Third World, a population kept deliberately poor and powerless by a ruling oligarchy. Why World War III? Because it's the ultimate distraction, the ultimate opportunity for profit, and the ultimate way to consolidate power. Wars reset economies, rewrite trade agreements, and allow the powerful to seize resources. Trump's alliances with authoritarian pleaders, his withdrawal from international treaties, and his attacks on NATO are all about destabilizing the global order. In chaos, there is opportunity, and the oligarchs are ready to seize it. World War III isn't just about military contracts. It's about resetting the global economy. By plunging the world into chaos, Trump and his allies can restructure economies, rewrite trade agreements, and seize resources. And make no mistake, the groundwork is already being laid. His actions are calculated moves to set the stage for a global conflict that will make the rich even richer while the rest of the world suffers. Ask yourself, who benefits from World War III? The winners are the billionaires who profit from war, the oligarchs who grow richer as democracy crumbles, and the corporations that gain power as governments fall. World War III isn't just a possibility, it's a business plan. And Donald Trump is the salesman.